All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most critical zones in any general surgery, the gallbladder bed. You know, it's a tiny piece of anatomical real estate, but wow, it carries some serious weight. We're going to find out exactly why this spot demands so much respect in the OR.
Man, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just about textbook anatomy. It's about that gut-sinking feeling when your phone buzzes late at night long after you thought a case was closed. The gallbladder bed, it's famous for causing trouble post-op, and learning to master it is, well, it's a true rite of passage.
So, let's start thinking about this area a little differently. It's not just anatomy, it's a surgical terrain, a landscape, you know? It's got safe paths and it's got a whole lot of hidden dangers. Our goal here is to learn the map so well that you can navigate it with total confidence, even when the pressure's on, and stay far, far away from being the one who gets that late night call.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's what every surgeon wants to know. The good news is the map has been drawn for us, and the rules of the road are pretty clear. So think of this explainer as your personal GPS for getting through that terrain safely.
You know, any treacherous landscape has a marked trail, a safe route. And in the gallbladder bed, that route is what we call the safe dissection plane. This is rule number one, the absolute first thing you have to know. Find this path, and whatever you do, stick to it. The whole operation, really, it boils down to this one fundamental choice. Your goal, your mission, is to dissect right along the cystic plate. That's the fibrous layer that separates the gallbladder from the liver. The danger, the big mistake, is digging down into the liver tissue, the parenchyma itself. It's like a fork in the road, and you can bet that taking the wrong path leads straight to trouble.
Here's a super simple way to think about it. You're peeling a sticker, not digging a hole. You find that edge, that natural plane, and you just gently work your way along. That one word, peel, if you can get that in your head, it can honestly change your whole approach to the procedure. Peel, don't dig.
Okay, so staying on the path is half the battle, but of course, it's not always that simple. This terrain has hidden traps. We're talking about sneaky anatomical variations that you won't always see coming, but they can cause serious, serious problems if you're not actively on the lookout for them. And here's our main culprit, the subvesical ducts, sometimes called the ducts of Luschka. The two key words to remember here are tiny and variable. They're small, super easy to miss, and they don't follow any consistent map. They're just there, running right through the gallbladder bed, smack in the middle of your dissection field. And if you nick one of them, well, it kicks off this absolutely inevitable chain reaction. The unseen duct gets injured, it starts leaking bile after everything's closed up, and bam, you've got a patient with a serious complication. And the worst part? It was totally preventable. That's what triggers that late night call. I just love this quote because it makes it so personal, you know? It's not some abstract risk percentage. Nope. It's a future meeting that you really, really want to avoid. The message is simple. Respect these tiny little ducks, or you're going to be the one cleaning up the mess they make later. Okay, so we've got a safe path, and we know about the hidden traps. What we need now is a landmark, right? A reliable signpost that shouts, hey, you're in the right spot. And luckily for us, we've got one. It's called Lund's node. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting. This particular signpost, well, it has a strange way of making itself known. It bleeds, and I know that sounds pretty alarming, but understanding its dual nature is the absolute key to using this landmark correctly. So, Lund's node is just a little lymph node sitting right next to the cystic artery. Now, when you're dissecting near it, it often starts to ooze a bit. That's the minor danger. But the major clue it gives you is priceless. Seeing that little bit of bleeding is what confirms you are exactly where you need to be, right at the base of the gallbladder, right near the cystic artery. And this right here is the critical mental shift you have to make. Instead of panicking or thinking that minor bleeding is a mistake, you need to see it as a confirmation. It's the map literally telling you, you are here. It completely transforms a moment that could cause anxiety into a moment of pure anatomical certainty. It's a game changer. So let's just boil this all down into 3 simple rules for navigation. Rule 1, peel along the cystic plate. That keeps you on the safe path. Rule 2, always anticipate and avoid those subvesical ducts to prevent post-op bile leaks. And Rule 3, reframe the bleeding from Lund's node. It's not a problem. It's a map marker telling you you're in the right spot. If you can master these 3 rules, you can master the gallbladder bed. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Look, we all feel that pressure in the operating room to be efficient, to be fast.
But when you're navigating a terrain as tricky as the gallbladder bed, what's really more important? The push for speed or the discipline to actually follow the map? Because knowing these landmarks, these rules, that is your map to a safe and successful operation every single time.